Welcome back to BST, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Um, we're back. Been about a week, I think, since our latest episode. Um, and we're back with more NFL. Our last episode was NFL. This episode's going to be NFL. The next one will probably be NFL. That's not true because we got hockey trade deadline tomorrow, and then we got March Madness. But a lot of NFL is going down right about now. You got the draft, free agency coming up, obviously. And there's already been a couple big trades, moves, cuts, and free agency, although it hasn't started, is definitely taking shape. So we're going to call this segment Scrolling Through Schefter's Twitter and reacting to everything that's gone down since our last episode. So let's just get this thing underway and start with Matthew Stafford. He's returning to the Los Angeles Rams, and I think this is good. Not only for the Rams, but for Stafford, I think this is his best chance to win. Although, would you have liked to seen him in New York?
No.
Not at all?
I
Not even a
mean,
little bit?
I don't know. No.
Not at all.
No.
All right. I
I like where he's at.
I think it would have been
might
interesting.
Well, it could have been.
But I think, obviously, with Rodgers leaving the Jets, I think that's where the Giants are supposedly moving
Look,
to.
Stafford's already played for Lions. He doesn't need
Yeah.
Lions 2.0.
More
so.
poverty franchise. Yeah, you
Right.
got to feel bad for Stafford a little bit.
Yeah.
He's definitely had to suffer through his fair share of bad franchises. So, yeah, I get that. I think this is the right decision for Stafford ultimately. And if they get a good offseason, I mean, they were pretty close to beating the Eagles already. If they continue to stockpile great draft picks, I think this could be interesting. And who knows, maybe they can win a Super Bowl next year, go on a run, and he can kind of ride off into the sunset. But I like this not only for Stafford but for the Rams. This gives Stafford the best chance to win and the Rams the best chance to win.
Yep.
So I like this move. Going up. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Deebo Samuel traded to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. Let's just start on the Commanders side. I like this move. Commanders GM, I don't know his name, but he drafted Deebo when he was with the Niners, so there's a familiarity there. Familiarity there. Deebo's not good on his own, but he's good when he can be with a number one. I think McLaurin is that kind of guy. So I think this is a good move for him.
I think he's been banged up. I don't know if it's fair to say he's not good on his own.
I'm just saying, like, if you're calling him your number one option, you're probably screwed. He's not a number one. No.
Well,
he's not a number one wide receiver.
You're not screwed.
You are.
I don't.
If he is your number one guy, go-to guy, you're screwed.
He can be your number one, and you can have a
he
1A, and you're going to be fine.
No, but he's not your route runner. He's a gadget guy. So this is that's why I think it's a good fit here.
I don't know.
Because he's not going to be
recency bias. It's not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying if he's drawing their number one corner, I mean you're screwed because he's getting shut down all game. Deebo Samuel is not the kind of guy that can get open off of man coverage, stuff like that. He's just not that player. He's a gadget guy. There's a reason the Niners moved him to running back a few times, is because that's the kind of player he is. He's good after the catch.
But there was a good 3-year stretch where they went the way Deebo went, so you can't undersell his value.
I'm not saying that. I know Deebo was great for him.
Receivers can be like, they can get open good for like 2 years, then they lose it.
Yeah, but that's not true.
Yeah.
Look at Devontae.
Wow.
We'll get to
anything.
Devontae.
He hasn't done anything
but
since he left.
I like I said, I think this is a good fit for him. You only have to give up a 5th, but you are taking on that contract. So that's a big reason why the Niners did this, is because they're done paying Deebo. And they're Niners are not in a great position either with their cap. So it's good to get this off. He's not worth the money he's getting paid right now. But for a Commanders team that has like 70 million in cap space, who cares really? So I like this move for them. But I saw this thing that it brought up that Jerry Jones paid a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, who is just a no-name wide receiver. And the Commanders paid a 5th for Debo. So pretty incredible that they were able to do that, and it kind of shows how incompetent Jerry Jones is. And I think you brought up a quote of Jerry Jones. I can't remember the full thing, but it was like something like they're not looking to free agency to fill holes in their roster.
Yeah, we're not looking there to fill voids. I guess. I don't know where you look. I guess draft.
I'm so sorry, Cowboys fans.
Everybody.
Any Cowboys fans watching this, I'm just so sorry. I mean,
Don't be sorry. It's their choice.
I mean, okay, but they were fooled in the 90s and stuck with them since. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have good seasons, but you're heartbroken, and then you have bad seasons, and your owner comes out saying this stuff. I just feel bad for you guys.
They had success in the 90s because of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is
retiring, and so I mean, it's just unbelievable at this point. How incompetent the Cowboys front office is. I mean, what else do you use free agency to do? Plug holes in your roster, like Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry only if Jerry didn't draft the guy, he doesn't want to sign him, because at the end of the day, the credit's going to go to somebody else.
But at the end of the day, they always seem to get a player like Cooper Kupp or of the caliber like that. They end up signing somebody. So
yeah,
I mean, the Packers sit back and just
we're very smart with our deals.
Yeah, we think we're the smartest people in the room, and it's not showing like we are, because we don't make any moves that really make them better.
Free agency hasn't happened yet. I hear that the Packers will be big players.
Yeah,
this year.
Sure.
I've also heard that for the past 7 years.
I'm like, who'd you hear that from?
So, the Packers will never be something that I will predict for them, because I just don't know with the Packers. It'll be more something that I react to positively or negatively, depending on what happens. But yes, Debo goes to the Commanders. It'll be interesting to see how that works. I did see something that Nick Wright brought up. He said he thought the Commanders may be moving a little fast, as in they may be misjudging where their team is actually at, because, I mean, they played a 4th-place schedule. You get the Giants twice a year. You still get the Giants.
So what does that mean? They're moving
basically,
fast.
what he's saying is this really a move you should be making? Because this is kind of a move.
Well, the goal is to win games.
Yeah,
right?
I understand that.
Why wouldn't you make moves to make your team better? Why do you sit back? How can you sit back as a team and go like, no, we're not ready. Don't sign a big name.
Yeah, but
let's sit back and wait.
But
till we have a 4th-place schedule and do exactly what they did last season.
No, what I'm saying is, don't get too excited about the Commanders and predict a Super Bowl, because this may. I mean, sophomore slumps happen all the time.
Well, yeah, but who's predicting Super Bowl?
I guarantee there will be a couple. I guarantee there's just be Super Bowl hype this offseason for the Commanders.
I mean, they beat some teams. You know,
I understand.
I don't know that it was luck.
It's not luck, but when
I went into Detroit,
okay, that's all I'm saying. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Are you
here.
saying this because they mirror exactly what the Packers were a season ago, and then they didn't follow up with that?
I say this not only because of that. The Texans, same deal. It's very, very, very similar situation for the Texans. I just think this is a good move.
Yeah.
But I don't think like this makes them the Super Bowl favorite in the NFC at this point. I just don't. And I'm not going to say that they're going to miss the playoffs, but you never know in this league. So I'm not gonna predict anything good or bad for the Commanders, but it could be a very interesting season coming up. Let's see here. Scrolling on Schefter's Twitter, Darius Slay cut. That was a pretty obvious one that was going to happen. I mean, they got DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, so they don't really need
Well, I hope they don't have slumps.
the Eagles.
The sophomore slumps that DeJean and what's-his-face could have, right?
Oh, they're corners. They're fine.
Oh, they don't have slumps?
I mean, they might, but it happens more with quarterback.
Slay still has gas in the tank, man.
Yeah, Packers, come on.
He still does. I don't know.
I know, but like they need to save as much money as possible.
I get it, but they
Sign
kind of
Bond.
overachieved.
The Eagles.
Those rookies in the back. I think they did.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not. It'll be hard to replicate the season they just had.
Injuries are a great equalizer in sports.
They still have the best roster in the NFL.
I mean, I don't know. Can't say that right now.
Still the best roster, by far. By far.
So by that definition, you're predicting them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I am.
They're repeating. Okay.
They got the perfect formula.
No.
I mean,
I don't.
We'll have to,
I disagree.
You'll have to wait for our predictions episode, but
I disagree, but I don't know.
You don't think they'll win the Super Bowl?
No.
At least make it?
I mean, every team gets better every year. You just can't.
Yeah. So the
predict
Super Bowl
it.
champion got better.
Nah, I mean, I think I honestly
What did
Rams should have beat them. Okay, the Rams
fair.
should have beat
I
them.
agree.
So I don't want to hear that they dominated the playoff because I don't believe they
Well,
did.
they dominated most teams.
I still believe that the Lions would have beaten them in Detroit.
Yeah, if they're
I
healthy.
think the Lions chose a crap time to have a crappy game against a fearless Commanders team, and I think that handed Philly the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, that did. I don't think Philly won it because they're the best team in the league. I think they took advantage of the opportunity.
Okay, but
Which sometimes that's what happens when you win championships.
they trade for Myles Garrett. They won the Super Bowl.
They're not getting Myles Garrett.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they're not going to get Myles
Are you
Garrett.
sure?
What, you think they are?
I think there's a good possibility he lands in Philly.
Why?
Because Howie Roseman just makes things happen.
Okay. So what are they going to give
It
up
makes perfect
for him?
sense. I'd give him a first and a second.
Okay. So I Google Myles Garrett, nothing mentions Philly. So you're telling me this is just like a dark horse thing.
You're just looking at headlines.
Okay, but you're saying that
I just
this
think
is a real thing happening.
I think there's a good chance he ends up in Philly.
Okay. I disagree.
I think there's a good chance he ends up in Buffalo.
I don't think Philly's got the space to be able to pay Garrett and pay all their people.
That's why they cut Slay.
That Slay doesn't free up enough for that.
Hey, 4.3, everything counts.
Yeah, but that doesn't equal Garrett.
I think he ends up in Philly.
You got to
That's
trade
my
for
prediction.
him. You have to trade for him.
I think they give him
and
what they need.
I don't think. I mean, if they want to mortgage that.
Howie Roseman makes moves.
Okay,
man.
So he's the best GM in the league. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Best GM. No, I'm not. That you shouldn't even discount that one.
When's your Eagles gear arriving?
No.
you freaking Eagle homer.
What? I can't give them their praise. Eagles
No.
fans, you guys have the best roster and the best GM.
Okay.
The best GM built the best roster. I'm
What's the
shocked.
next topic?
Let's
move on.
We talked about Jimmy Johnson.
Okay.
T. Higgins,
T.
franchise
Higgins. Okay.
tagged. Gotta feel kind of bad for T. Higgins because he's getting paid. But this guy,
Never feel bad for a guy getting paid millions of dollars.
I agree, but at the same time, if he snaps his leg this year, hopefully that doesn't happen.
How much they
Like
paying
he's
him?
screwed.
He still made
26.
$26 million.
I get
think
that.
he'll be okay.
I get that, but like I'm thinking of the human side of it.
Well,
They're all humans.
yeah,
This is
but
his life. This is a dream.
okay,
I'm
but that
saying,
can
like-
happen if he signed a 5-year deal. We don't care because that's 5 years.
Yeah,
of-
well, he has security.
well, but he has only whatever's guaranteed in that. He doesn't get the whole thing.
I know, but what I'm saying is
I mean-
he gets a chance to
Yeah,
come back for more money.
But I don't think he's worth $26 million a year.
Oh, he's gonna get that if he signs a real
That's just
contract.
ridiculous, though.
But the
I just think
franchise
it's
tag
ridiculous.
is ridiculous. Like if you, I think I don't know
Well,
exactly
they
how the
pay you
franchise
that's
tag
a hell of a
works.
lot of money though. $26 million.
Oh yeah,
You
no
should be
doubt,
set.
no doubt. No, I'm not saying he's not set, but I'm just thinking of the human side of it.
Okay. Well, he still makes $26 million. His leg heals. He gets signed somewhere for 10. Oh darn, right? Like
That would be a steal.
somebody's still.
That'd be a
I
steal.
mean, I understand
If
that
he
they.
breaks his leg and gets signed for 10 to the Packers,
Well,
absolute
I'll
steal.
tell you what. Like when you play to not get injured, you get injured. So you just go and play.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I'm just
So,
saying it sucks for him because I know he wants a long-term deal.
well, then I guess he sits out.
No, he's not going to sit out. I'm just
Well,
saying. I'm just
he
saying I
didn't
feel
last year, but they probably.
I'm just saying I feel for the guy. Because I think for all of us in life we like having security.
I mean, I think that's a very different level of security. I think you're getting paid $26 million. You're never gonna
Yeah.
make that in your life. You're set. You're set. Like
I understand that, but he's like 27, he's
yeah, but
living the
security,
dream.
okay, but he's gonna keep playing. If he gets hurt, the odds are he'll be fine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Bengals could just do this next year. I'm not exactly sure on that, but that would suck for
So then he
him.
makes another $26 million.
I'm just saying.
like
I'm not saying it's
the
not a lot of
people
money.
get the franchise tag and then they act like they're not getting paid. They're getting paid high amounts of money.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather be paid like 90 million over
Okay.
3 years?
But you're still a year at a time. It's a performance thing. I think they should all be on 1-year contracts.
That'd be interesting.
None of this 5 years bull crap where they just kind of mail it in because they got paid.
Yeah.
I want to see pay. If like in the normal person, if you don't do your job, you lose it, right?
Fair.
These guys can't squawk about getting paid $26 million, and they're still expected to go do their job. So how does that impact you anymore? You're still making a lot of money. It's guaranteed money on the franchise tag, right?
Yeah.
You're guaranteed the 26 mil. So,
Yeah.
you
No,
know
I
what?
agree.
Then
I think
then
he'll
you
live
wait
up
out
to
your
it.
contract. Go sign I guess if he keeps performing, there'll come a time where they have to make a choice on the franchise tag with somebody else. So,
Well, here's the problem with the Bengals. Sure, they're bringing back this trio with Burrow, Higgins, and Chase, which they're going to pay Chase a ton of money coming up here pretty soon. But now Hendrickson wants a trade out of Cincinnati, future Green Bay Packer, by the way. So they're going to have no defense again. So you get rid of the league in sacks. If they do trade him, it's just going to be the same story. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs if they cannot boost their defense to what it was from last year. Because last year they had not historic, but absolutely elite season from Burrow, and none of it mattered because the defense sucked. So, not really sure what the Bengals are doing. Obviously Chase deserves the money, but that's a lot of money. If Chase gets 40 and you're paying T Higgins 26, 46 or math is horrible on that one. 66 million to receivers, 2 receivers plus Burrow. Man, that's a lot of money that's being used on 3 players. So, hopefully T Higgins can find a permanent home after this season. I thought he was going to go to the Patriots for a while there because, the Patriots need a receiver. T Higgins seemed like the perfect guy for Drake May to build around. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? We might as well talk about the Bears, unfortunately. We both hate the Bears. The Bears probably all the Bears fans hate this podcast. We've gotten some Bears fans comments on previous TikToks, not pleased with our opinions on them. But this time, I will finally praise the Bears. I'm actually pretty impressed with what they've done so far to address helping Caleb. First off, they trade for Jonah Jackson from the Rams for a 6th-round pick. He's a decent O-lineman, but at this point, you just need to get some different bodies in there, see what works for him. And then they traded a 5th-round pick for Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs, which is a great move because Joe Thuney had an absolutely elite season this year and even was able to move the tackle and hold his own there. Obviously, for the Chiefs, this is a big loss because, their line was already weak, and now you're losing one of the big pieces. Is this the end of the Chiefs dynasty? Is it?
It could be.
I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not sure what Mahomes' magic means anymore. It meant something different with Tyreek Hill there in the first phase, but he's kind of more of a game manager that makes critical plays down the stretch.
Well, I'm just gonna say this.
I just think the weapons are kind of.
Yeah, they don't got any weapons.
Kelsey's probably. Yeah, I don't know if Kelsey's retiring, but he's definitely diminished.
I mean, Nick Wright is going to hype him up all season, of course, or all off season, of course. So we'll have to listen to that. But they're going to have to draft really, really well. And offensively, they've drafted really, really horribly. You can say all you want about Xavier Worthy. He is not that good, at least not right now. And I know he got hyped up in the Super Bowl because he had 160 yards or something and like 2 touchdowns. It was all in garbage time, so none of that around here. And I just don't think Xavier Worthy's good. I think he's just a speedster, and that's all he can do. I like Rashee Rice, obviously, but with the legal stuff, who knows what happens with him. Kelsey's getting old. Their line is already weak. They brought back Trey Smith on a franchise tag, but other than that, I mean, you get rid of Thuney, you got Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith and 2 tackles, and now you have a hole at guard. So their line's weak. Chris Jones, who knows what happens to him? I think their D-line is good, but some of their draft picks they've drafted are underperforming. At least for where you drafted them. You got McDuffie, who's good, but the rest of the corners are relatively weak. The linebacking crew is good, and at safety, it's kind of just a mash together of veteran players. So I think it could be interesting, but they're the Chiefs, so they'll find a way. But for the Bears, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm scared of the Bears, but because they got to prove it. Because I mean, they've won the offseason for like 7 straight years.
That's just them saying.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, Bears won the offseason, and then they win like 6 games the next year. So
I'm not gonna talk any trash on the Bears. No, I'm not saying you are. I'm not, because they don't matter to me.
Okay.
And
that might be trash talk. That might be worse.
No, but they don't matter yet.
You're saying they're irrelevant.
It's like they talk and talk. It's like, whatever.
Okay.
I'll start listening when you consistently beat Green Bay. When you consistently beat, not just Green Bay, you beat the Lions, you beat the Vikings consistently, you win the division.
No, I get that.
You make the playoffs, then start talking,
I get that.
Right now, Green Bay is your Super Bowl.
Until
that changes, then
yeah,
that's fine. And I've got a really good friend that's a Bears fan. I say this stuff to him. That's just the thing, And there's gonna come a time that the Packers will be kind of like a Bears, but I like it because let's just finally have let's have a rivalry again.
That'd be awesome.
It's been kind of like I'm tired of just hating the Vikings. I don't really hate the Bears because they don't matter to me. So they don't.
That's worse than trash talk. That is trash talk.
Well, I mean, it's not intended to trash talk, but they just don't matter to me. They don't.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough. But if they could protect Caleb, they got the offensive infrastructure to be one of the top units in the NFL.
Caleb could be
play.
Justin Fields 2.0.
He
I
could.
Don't know. He might not see the guys. It might not even matter. But
fair.
Hey, you got to try, right?
Yeah,
got to try.
So I kind of look. So then you on the other side of young quarterbacks who has no help on the line, you got C.J. Stroud. They just traded for Christian Kirk from the Jags. earlier today. I don't know how to feel about it because Tank Dell's not coming back. I don't think he's coming back for next year either. I can't remember. I think he might try mid-season maybe. But anyway, either way, I see. I hope they attempt to protect Stroud because they're just like you can only get so many wide receivers and weapons. If you don't have a good line, you are screwed in this league. If you do not have a good line, you are done for. You saw arguably the best quarterback in the world in the Super Bowl. He didn't have a good line, who couldn't protect him, and he was screwed all game. So I think the Bears are approaching this the right way. They got criticized for it last year. Ryan Poles, I literally said when I was going over Bears hiring Ben Johnson, I said none of this matters unless they can figure out how to protect Caleb. And these are two good steps in that direction.
Yeah, well, Ben Johnson has to prove he can be a head
No,
coach.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, no matter what Ben Johnson does,
Yeah.
if they can't protect him, it's over. So, moving up here, obviously, Devontae Adams released from the Jets. I think everybody saw this coming. Man, that's crazy. $29.9 million saved in cap space by releasing him. Now it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Obviously, he could follow Rodgers wherever that may be, back to New York, but with the Giants, who knows? Hopefully, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to go back to Green Bay. Depends on what it's going to be money wise. I know Green Bay doesn't like to spend too much on wide receivers. So could be interesting to see how this one plays out. I'm hoping and praying he comes back to Green Bay. Just be so awesome because he's one of my favorite wide receivers ever.
Yeah.
So there's that. Saquon has become the highest paid running back with an extension 2 years, $41.2 million. Well deserved. Well deserved. If you look at this past running back free agency market, I mean, they single-handedly saved the position nearly. Truly incredible stuff. Like four guys, Barkley, Henry, Mixon, Jacobs, all those guys. They've really revitalized the position. Now you got Genti coming out of the draft. This is a big year for running backs. I think Genti's gonna be a good player. I heard he's not expected to be drafted by the Cowboys, which is just a gift. Thank you, Jerry Jones, for unless they do draft him, but I would be shocked. Um, Honestly, I'd be shocked if they didn't, but it sounds like they're not going to. So hopefully that does not happen because then I'd be forced to hate Genti, which I don't want to do. This one's more of a Packers one, but they signed Brandon McManus, which is a big deal because I feel like for a few years now we've had questions with our kicking, and that got solved when we signed Brandon McManus mid-season. So I'm happy McManus is back. Former Packers kicker Mason Crosby retired. 1-year contract with Green Bay. So
One day.
Sorry. To retire, which is great.
Yep.
So glad the Packers finally got their kicker. Hopefully, he can just stay consistent. Oh wow, I'm just reading this. Only 2 players this year were tagged: T. Higgins and Trey Smith. That's kind of crazy. I think it kind of shows you a lot of teams don't want to tag a guy and pay him that much money. It's a lot of money when you tag these guys because you're paying them almost top end money for their position, and it's all guaranteed. So, let's see here. Dang, Saints released Jamal Williams. You remember Jamal Williams that 1 year on the Packers, like 2020 Jamal Williams? That was good times. He's a good dude. Hopefully he finds a place. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about the Seahawks for a second. One of my buddies is a Seahawks fan. and if you guys didn't hear the news, they got rid of Seahawks legend Tyler Lockett, who I always saw was pretty underrated, and DK Metcalf, who requested a trade. So it'll be very interesting to see where DK Metcalf goes. I've heard the Packers are in on it, a few other teams. But I heard apparently it's supposed to cost a first and a third, which I don't know about you, but I would not want the Packers paying that for DK Metcalf. I don't think he's worth it.
No.
And he wants a $30 million a year contract. And I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Would you pay Adams $30 million a year? I kind of think I would, just to get him back. I probably would.
I'd be tempted. This is what my friend said about the Seahawks management.
This Jaden,
yeah,
friend of the program.
If you watch the older episode, Jaden Hot Takes, so take all this with a grain of salt, because I don't think he really knows what he's talking about half the time. But he says incompetent management of our star players, and he can't spell either. Okay, I'm just gonna read it and tell me if this makes tell me if this makes sense to you. Incompetent management of our star players wants out when we barely missed playoffs. I'm not exactly sure. And then he said, and one season with a new head coach, something is fishy. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So you heard it here yourself. We were gonna do an episode on Jaden fixing the Seahawks, but I'm pretty sure they're better off without him doing that.
Yeah. I'm not sure he could fix anything.
Probably true. If Jaden's watching this, we love you, Jaden. So
just kidding, Jaden.
Are we? Jaden? I don't know.
You might have to have him on.
Yeah. Hey, I tried to get him on for tonight. Give us the live reaction. Apparently, he's at work or something.
I know.
And moving on. This was a dagger in my heart because I wanted this guy to be a Green Bay Packer. Max Crosby signed a 3-year extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. This guy would have looked so good in the green and gold. But at least this protects him from the Lions, which I know was rumored during the middle of the season.
If he couldn't come to Green Bay, stay with the Raiders.
I agree.
Yep. If he couldn't do that, yeah, I'd rather him stay put.
He also said that he wants Rodgers to come to Oakland or Las Vegas.
Just retire, dude.
I think that'd be interesting. It's not going to win. I don't think they're going to win any games because they suck. But, I wouldn't mind that. Maybe you get Rodgers and you go draft like Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart or Kyle McCord, somebody like that in the later rounds of the draft. See what happens.
Save yourself the culture kill and just skip it.
Just
go draft who you just said and just.
How's he a culture killer?
How's he not? Look what he's done.
What has he done?
He kills culture.
What? Show me.
Oh my gosh. Just ask any Jets fan right now.
That's not him. He had a good season.
Yeah. Well,
the Jets are a disaster in and of
themselves. I'm sorry, but the proof is out there, okay?
I mean,
he's a culture killer.
Is he a great guy? No.
But he's a culture killer.
No, I don't think he is.
He's not. He is. He's not. He's not. He's at the age, and it's been this way for a while, where he can't develop or work with younger talent. He needs older. He needs the older, harsher league. It's a little bit more. Hey, you're good. It's fine. Everybody's sensitive now. You can't just ream a guy. With Rodgers, you drop the ball, you run the wrong route, you're done. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to be perfect.
Yeah, it's the NFL.
But a leader goes, look, man, I'm coming back to you, so keep your head up. I'm coming back, right? You're trying to instill confidence in these guys, okay?
Yeah, but I mean,
No, I just think
bunch of sissies in this league.
kinda. Yeah. Yeah, you got to tiptoe around feelings now. You can't just like they can't get yelled at, can't get killed,
No, this is
right?
what the Raiders are, though. The Raiders are tough, hard-nosed
They
football.
just hired Pete Carroll. That is not him. Pete Carroll's the
Pete
biggest
Carroll,
rah-rah coach there is.
Pete Carroll
I'm
built a
not
good
saying he's not
culture there.
he's right. Well, he's right, and it's built on rah-rah.
No,
You think?
he's gonna build a tough
Look,
culture. He's gonna bring back Oakland Raider football.
okay, all right.
No, he is.
We'll see.
He ask Seahawks
You think
fans.
he built the Legion of Boom?
Yeah,
You think it was all Pete Carroll?
it was a lot of Pete Carroll.
I don't know.
If they ran the ball, maybe they win some more there. And Pete Carroll's looked at better. But yeah, could be interesting to see if they bring in Rodgers to Oakland I keep saying Oakland, it's Las Vegas. Let's see here. Zach Bond signed back to Philly. I think this is a good move. You can't let an all-pro walk like that.
Devondre Campbell 2.0. That's what he'll
Very
be.
similar.
That's what he will be.
Extremely similar situation, which I don't think Brian Gutekunst gets nearly the amount of credit that Howie Roseman gets for this kind of move, because Brian Gutekunst did the same thing, but
He would have if we won the Super Bowl, but
yeah, that's true. That might have helped them a little bit.
Again, we'll see. If he can do it again, great, but whatever.
Yeah, but I think this is a good move for him. You like I said, you don't let a guy like this move, but it's a lot of money, and if he sucks, then that could downgrade their roster to
I'm
second.
telling you, you've got Hutchinson coming back on Detroit. They're still loaded. I don't think anybody's leaving.
To hate the line.
I know, but I'm telling you, it is not a shoe-in for Philly. It's not. And the Cowboys are always kind of out there in the division, and
No.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's
Cowboys are done.
I don't know. I don't know. Every time I think that, they rear their ugly heads in the. I'm just saying they could trip up Philly a little bit, and I think Philly needs home field to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
clearly
we can't say that about Detroit because they got it and they didn't make it. So, but Detroit, I mean, they blew it. They should have beat the Niners the year before. Detroit is close. Detroit is close.
No, I agree.
And I think Detroit's the favorite to win the North. They're going to be right there. They're going to be the biggest roadblock probably for Philadelphia.
I agree.
But every year there's a team or two that surprises you, so we'll see who those are.
I agree. Moving on. Trey Hendrickson requested a trade.
Did we already talk about him?
I don't know if we did.
Oh, we already did.
Oh wait, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I mean, look at the edge rusher market right now. There are so many guys out there that the Packers will get not one of them.
None of them.
Not one. Please,
now
we'll
draft a guy that was on the bench, just like
some guy in like
whatever his name
D3
is.
football.
Yeah.
In the first round
because he fits
because he has an RAS score over 9 or something. Oh yeah, he fits the mold. He's gonna take 7 years to develop, but you know what? When he's there, he's gonna be good.
Yep.
Please, Brian Gutekunst, can you just spend some of these picks that never work and just go out and get us a stud who can be in Green Bay for a while and play well? Please, 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 please. I know the Packers are close to contending for a ring. We got a ton of pieces already. We just need a few game changers. I feel like, do you agree the Packers don't got any like game changers?
No.
Nobody on their roster like feels like a game changer. And even like McKinney or Jacobs. Yeah, but like I feel like neither of those guys we need like a game shutdown guy. Like a guy who can just end the game. You know what I'm saying? We need, first of all, like an edge rusher.
Okay.
Who can just we need a sack, he gets the sack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ultimately we got to just trade for Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Or Trey Hendrickson, really. But I think that's what we need to see. That's pretty much it. We're gonna see more as free agency creeps closer.
Yep.
I don't even know when free agency is. Let me look it up.
Next week.
Is it?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay, Monday next week is the start of free agency, so I'm actually extremely excited for that. It should be interesting.
Adams can sign anytime, though.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, I could get a notification at 3 a.m. tonight that he signed with the Packers?
Yeah, he won't, but you could.
please.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh, they're like
I'd love for it to happen. I just don't think it
dream
will.
off season.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, Devontae Adams.
I don't think it's gonna be both.
Oh my god,
It's gonna be
I'd be so
one.
happy.
It's probably gonna be a defensive acquisition.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately,
And one of those kind of mid-level receivers. I don't know. There
Yeah.
could be. I don't know, but
I mean,
point you got to go all in.
But the thing,
Point you got to push all your chips in.
The thing I gotta think of though is how many times like Gutekunst's been right about some of these decisions. Not necessarily the draft decisions, but like contract decisions. I feel like he's been on the right side of things a lot more than not.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna trust in the process.
Yeah.
Trust in Brian Gutekunst. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how this all plays out. Then you got the draft, which is in Green Bay, so that should be fun. I think we're going to that, aren't we?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going.
Green Bay, we gotta go. Gotta go to the draft. But
It would be cool, but we're not.
we are going to a Utah Jazz game to watch them get destroyed, and then hopefully to a Utah Hockey Club game to watch them win. For the playoff chase.
Hopefully.
So that should be interesting. The NHL trade deadline is tomorrow. Will Mikko Rantanen get traded? Who knows? We'll see how that plays out. Isn't Selection Sunday? This Sunday? Or is it next one?
Next one.
Because isn't it conference championships this weekend? So
or conference tournament kicks off.
Okay,
starts
this next week.
Into the week, I think.
So college basketball is heating up almost to March Madness, which is one of the greatest times of the year. So we'll do we might do a full bracket prediction or just a champion prediction. A full bracket prediction might take a while.
Yeah.
So, but we'll definitely cover it throughout. See whose brackets are doing better, stuff like that. But yeah, sports are heating up. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Take care.